everybody, it's Michelle, and I'm so excited to have my Simon Says Stamp card kit for April 2019, and we're going to do a paper piecing project today. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I was so excited about this cute little die that comes in the set this month. It is just so cute, a little pair of rain boots with tulips growing out of them, and I thought that was just so adorable. And there's such beautiful little patterned papers in the kit. I wanted to use those for some of the paper piecing. So I'll give you guys a quick rundown of what's included in the kit. We've got some Nouveau vintage drops, some stickers, all kinds of spring, flowery, gardening, and outdoorsy type of sentiments, as well as images. And you could use these for some really quick and easy cards with those sentiments already on there for you. We've got 4 envelopes. We've got the metallic sea glass, ivory, cotton candy, and dark chocolate. And we've got a 4x6 sheet of black adhesive foam. It's adhesive on both sides. And then here are our pattern papers. Home Sweet Home. I'm going to be using a little bit of that, but I'm going to do it in a way that I can still use this main portion on another project. And everything is double-sided, so we've got a green gingham on the back of that, a black floral with a yellow stripe, and you can see I've cut from that. My yellow stripe is going to be part of my paper piecing. We've got a large print pink gingham. I like this light colored background with the birds in the nests. That is so cute and springy. Dark wood background that says live life in full bloom. That would be really good just as some sort of wall decor project. Just so many beautiful papers. Another one that's a large image for some sort of wall decor or something like that. Larger prints, smaller prints. I like that. It is a good variety in the papers there, and some little cut aparts here. Green with white polka dot, yellow floral that obviously I've used some of, and then on the back we've got a script. And my favorite part of every card kit is the huge 6x8 Simon Says stamp set. Hello Darling. And if you guys don't get the April card kit in time, you can get the set separately, and I'll leave you guys links to that. And then I've cut up some of my cardstock here again that I've been using it, but that was the sea glass from Simon Says Stamp. And we also have the ivory, cotton candy, and dark chocolate. So in order to use this main sentiment a little later on, what I'm going to do is just cut off a little strip of that wood grain pattern is really all that I want to use today. So we've got an 8-inch piece here before we cut it. I'm just going to cut about an inch off of the top and an inch off of the bottom. That way that huge sentiment will be left in the middle to use on another project. So that stays intact, and we've got a 6x6 now that we can use on another project, and I'm going to use the little wood grain pieces today. I've got a white card base, and it is a top folding card base, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere these on. I'm going to manipulate this one a little bit. I want sort of that little knot hole portion of the wood grain there showing, so I'm going to scoot this one down. the opposite way. And then I'm just going to cut away the excess on those and lay that aside to finish drying. And next I'm going to work on my center panel. And we're going to do a little bit of inking on that. So I'm going to bring in my glass cutting board. So I've got a slick surface. I'm going to lay that on there. And I'm going to tape off a portion for the bottom. I'm going to tape it off right about there. That's going to hold my piece in place and also mask off so that I can ink what I want to be the ground. And I'm going to be using Mowed Lawn, and even though we're inking over a sort of bluish color cardstock, blue is already within the color green, so it's going to cover over just fine. And I want to ink that so that it's a little darker up toward where I have my tape. And I just love how smoothly the Oxide inks blend. Okay, and now I'm going to ink the sky a little bit with the Faded Jeans Distress Oxide. And on this, I want it to kind of be like the sky is darker at the top, and it's going to fade back into this sea glass color as we come down near the grass line. So I'm going to start with my heaviest up toward the top. And blend it down. And I actually think I'll bring in a little bit of tumbled glass to maybe lighten some of that back up. I may have gotten that a little too dark. And I love that with the oxides you can kind of take a lighter color over top like that and lighten it back up if you need to. I'm going to bring in an embossing folder, and you guys have seen me use this embossing folder before. It's the Raindrops folder by Tailored Expressions, and I'm going to place this in here, and I'm going to leave part of it hanging out right to where the end of the embossing there stops right at my grass line. And I'm going to take that over to my Cuttlebug and run that through. And there is our raindrop pattern. I hope you guys can see that on the screen. And we're going to accentuate that a little later on so that it shows up even more. And by the way, my panel here is the full height of my card base, but a little narrower, so it's going to be a strip straight up the middle. It's 3.5 by 5.5. And I've got a couple of the leaves. I've got the double leaf here and the smallest little single leaf mounted on my little 1-inch block. And I'm just going to use my Mowed Lawn Distress ink and just come through and make a little bit of a grassy look to my bottom section here. And I just love these little leaves. These are so perfect for just creating the scene the way you want it to be. Everything is individual. Okay, now I'm just going to set that aside and let that be drying a little bit as well while we assemble our paper pieced rain boots. And I've just got a scrap piece of paper here. I've got one die cut just in solid white, and you can see it makes a little bit of an embossed area for the separation between the boots and all of that. I've got one cut out in my yellow floral, purple pattern paper, and that's going to be our part we use for our boots. And then I've got a little piece here that is our yellow and white stripe, and that's going to be the cuff at the top of the boots, just that little wider part there. You might could tell better on the die. You can see the lines there where it embossed. This top section here is going to be the striped, and for that I just cut out a little strip of the yellow and white striped, and I laid it right across there, ran it through my Cuttlebug, and then I just cut along the indentions on the areas that were just embossing and not cutting. The edges cut here, and then I just went along with my scissors on the embossed areas to get that little piece there. And I've got some in pink cotton candy that came with the kit, and I just laid that on the edge of the paper just for a small portion, so we can use that for just the tulips only. And then this was the little one on the edge there. And I've got my Studio 71 alcohol markers, and I'm going to add a little bit of shading and dimension on my die cuts before I assemble everything. So I think I'll start first with my tulips, and I'm using, I don't know what color this one is. It's the lightest sort of mauve-y pink that was in the set, and then this one is azalea. Pink and just sort of paint over my base layer here. That way the edges that will show from the side are going to be the same color as what I put on top of it, and I won't have that white edge showing. I'm going to carefully cut along this so that I cut the tulips away, just leaving the boots. And I'm actually going to cut away that little tread part right along the embossed line. And it's kind of hard to see on camera. I'm going to bring in some light colors here, some light yellowy beiges. I've got cocoa and sand, and I'm going to use those just to create a little bit of shading on the boots. Test out my colors first and see which one I want to use. I think I'm going to go with cocoa first. That seems to be lighter. And then I can come in right along the embossed areas. And just add some shading that you can see, like a shadow where one of those boots is in front of the other. And do the same thing on this boot. Along underneath the cuff of the boot. And then I'm going to bring my darker color in and just kind of come in at the outer edge with the darker shadow. And then blend it out again with cocoa. And I'm going to soften that all out with my colorless blender. And I'm going to put a little bit of shading on the cuffs here as well. I'm coming along the top edge this time because that's going to be under the tulips. And I just used the cocoa on that, and I'm going to soften that with the colorless blender. Now on the base piece again, I'm going to take that cocoa and run it along the edges so we don't see that white edge. And then I'm going to use a dark gray. This is Cool Gray 9. And I'm going to use that on the bottom tread. And part of the fun with this paper piecing is you don't have to be too careful because every layer is going to be covered up with another layer. So I'm going to put my floral pattern boots, and I'm going to use my reverse tweezers to help me get these placed super carefully. And I love how that little tread piece shows from underneath, and it looks a little more set back because of the dimension of this other piece. So now I'm going to add the cuff. And get that lined up. And looking at this piece here, I kind of wish I had done my tulips in pink and white and just did the pink marker over white cutouts, because those pink and white sort of tulips do occur in nature and they're so beautiful. But we're going to use these here that we've cut out. And again, that gives the flower a little bit of dimension out from the stem. And I think that is really pretty. And there we have our paper pieced rain boots with tulips. I think it is so cute. And now I'm going to layer my center panel on my card base. And to give my rain boots even more dimension, I'm going to pop those up, and I think I will use some of my double-sided sticky back foam. Be careful peeling your backers off so that you don't pull on those little flowers, on those little narrow stems. You don't want to tear them loose. I've got a little strip of the cotton candy cardstock here. And I've got my sentiment hello there on an acrylic block. And I'm just going to stamp that on. And I'm going to sort of flag the end of that. And I'm going to give a little bit of shading to that so it'll match a little better with my tulips. I'm going to darken the letters, make them a little darker pink with my markers as well. This is one place it would be really handy to have a bullet tip on your markers. And just kind of ribbon tail that to match, because we don't want to not have any foam out at the tips of those. And that was just about perfect sizing. Okay, and then pop that up. How cute is that? Okay, now I want to do a sentiment on the inside. And this time I'm using the Sending Sunshine Your Way. Here on the front we've got it raining and we've got our rain boots. And when they open the card, we're going to send a little sunshine their way. And I'm going to color that in with a yellowy color that sort of matches our rain boots. And I'm using Golden Sun. I think that's very appropriate for this. And again, it would be really great to have a bullet tip. I'm kind of having a hard time here. I'm getting outside of the lines. But with a narrow tip, this would be so pretty. Put that in between in case that marker's not completely dry. I've got another couple of things that I want to do on the outside of the card. And one is a really fun new pen that I have found that I wanted to show you guys. And you guys all know the Sakura black glazed pen that card makers often use to add a dimensional glazed dark accent to characters' eyes or things like that in the black. Well, I have got that same Sakura glaze pen in clear. And I think that is so much fun. And this came in a 10 pen set. That's the Sakura glaze pens. And this has 9 colors plus the clear. And that's the basic color set. And there is also the bright color set. I think there is even more, but these are the only 2 that I got at this point other than the black. And I think these glaze pens are a lot of fun for adding detail. And so I thought I would add some clear glaze detail to some of the raindrops. Not necessarily all of them. But I'm just going to draw over those raindrops with my clear glaze. And then maybe I'll go over the words. And now I want to take my Uniball Signo white gel pen, and I'm just going to put a little highlight detail on my tulips. You can come in and add a few more grass blades with your green. This is the sage again. So you guys leave me a comment below and let me know if you like my paper pieced rain boot card. I think this is so cute. I'll have the product links in the description below for the Simon Says stamp card kits, whether you want to purchase the kit separately or join the monthly subscription, as well as product links for the other products that I used in today's video. So be sure and check out those links. I'll have those as well as links to all of my social media sites, including Facebook and our Facebook group, Pinterest, Instagram, and my blog. I would love to have you join me on all of those, so be sure and check them out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.